Languages are like people. They are born, they grow up, and then eventually they get old, and then they die. What we have here is Bertha Bell at 103 back in the year 2003, the last known speaker of a dying language. Guyana was made up of 3 former Dutch colonies, those of Berbice, Demerara, and Essequibo. Dutch Creoles were spoken in all 3 of these colonies, but Berbice Dutch Creole was quite special. It had a vocabulary in which about 40% of its basic words came from a single West African language, Kalabari, which is a member of what they call the Eastern Ijo language group. We have already heard about Dote and Te, but there are other words like Mingi for water, like Yefi for eat, like Bifi for speak, which also come from Eastern Ijo. Berbice Dutch Creole also took some of its basic vocabulary from Arawak, the indigenous language spoken in the coastal areas of Guyana near the former Dutch settlements. One of these words is likely to have been Berbishi. This word is also used as the name for the main river which runs through the areas where Berbice Dutch Creole was formerly spoken. In 2003, everybody who knew anything about the language presumed that all the speakers were dead. But I got news from the linguist Ian Robertson, who had rediscovered the language back in the 1970s, that there was indeed at least one last speaker who was still alive. So we flew with a group of linguistics students from Trinidad and Jamaica down to Guyana. We traveled overland to Jubilee Ranch on the Berbice River, which was the site of plantation Pear Boom, which was owned by the founder of the Berbice colony, Abraham Van Peer, way back in the 17th century. We walked down the hill from the ranch to the Berbice River, the Birbishi as they call it. And we got into a speedboat which took us across the river, but slightly downriver as well. We disembarked and walked towards the home of Bertha Bell. As I was going along, was wondering to myself, just like everybody else, what it would be like to meet a 103-year-old woman who was the last representative of a language and culture that had all but disappeared. As we go along, you see the house to the right, which is the house of her children and grandchildren. We pass it and we duck under some wire and approach her house. We are going to meet this language through its last remaining speaker.
What are you on now?
My name is Ian Robertson.
Robertson?
Mm-hmm.
Where actually was she born, or where did she live when she was a child?
Okay. Wanga Yubante. Yubante Hiwi?
Matara.
Matara. Yubante with Matara.
See? Was when was the first time she heard English? Does she know?
Okay. Teacher Yungu, you learned Berbice before you learned English?
Yeah. Teacher Yungu. Dutch. Dutch. English and Dutch.
You have if you English better Dutch.
Motor school Dutch. Motor school in Dutch. Dutch moika. Doje mooi publifica. But English mooi publifica. English. You should get the issue.
How would you say the dogs eat the fish in Dutch Creole?
Dog eat fish.
Frog it, you. Hosuma Bifi, the dog eat the fish in a Creole. Yeah. Under your fear?
Under the fish.
Fishy. I think one said the dog eat the fish yesterday.
Okay, so
Guess where? The dog eat the fish.
the fish.
The dog gifted the fish.
The dog might eat fish.
How do you say that in Dutch?
Huh?
The dog might eat some fish.
That might eat fish.
Might eat the fish. Awama gave the fish. What is man to you bante?
That's about December.
You bante December?
Holy padang. Plenty. Holy padang.
What's enough now?
Mushu Honda.
Musha Honda.
Mushu Honda.
Musha Honda.
Plenty job.
Spirit.
To see how you go with your son.
Bertha was having fun, the time of her life. And then came that tail end of the conversation where she said to one of the students, "See how your body them tan up?" Which means, see how your breasts are standing up and firm? And I think I know exactly what she was going to say after that if the students hadn't interrupted with that laughter of embarrassment. I think she was going to say that once upon a time, my breasts too were firm and standing up just like yours, and so too was my language and my culture. But now tell me, what do you think?
The water of the river, shining in the sun, a mother and her children